Okay, we are 4 lines on the bottom on page AyinBase 4. And we are coming, so to speak, to the conclusion of the whole discussion. The Ayin of B'Tselem. B'Tselem refers to the Etzem. Etzem Hanshama, not any faculties, not any Giluyim, not even Yechida, Rotzen and Einak. The Etzem, the pure Etzem, which comes from Atzem Hazolakus.
Tselem is, how you translate Tselem?
Say yeah?
How you translate Tselem?
Tselem, form.
Oh, and what about Surah?
Yes, Tzura refers to normally facial Tzura. And Tselem refers to the whole form.
Oh, Surah is a face one.
So he said that the ultimate principle is to refer back to the Tselem, to the Etzem of the source where the chochma is coming from. Not even the chochma, Etzem chochma, the Balash. The Etzem chochma, not the chochma as it is manifest, as it is explained, but the way it is perceived by the source, by the Rav. And that you're able to attain by actually projecting and seeing and picturing the Rav in front of you. Because by picturing the Rav, then this chochma that you're repeating acquires a base, and you correlate the chochma to this face, to this Rav. Okay, so now 4 lines from the bottom. V'ho'inyan ba'isik ha'toiro. Oh, this same meaning, this principle, as it applies in Isik HaTorah, in learning Torah. Learning Torah, you're talking, Torah is Hashem's Torah. Even though you're learning Torah from a Rav, but this is learning the chochma of the Rav. But Isik HaTorah per se, this is directly from Har Sinai, from the Mevash. Where is this principle? Isik HaTorah, Re'i is Pnei HaMashpiyah, so to speak, as it applies to Isik HaTorah. Who, and it is Mashomer Azal. This is actually what the Chazal say. Al Posik, Al Ma'ovdo. Pardon me. Ma'ovdo. The Posik says Al Ma'ovdo, etc. Al Ma'ovdo Ha'oretz. Why did the land get lost? So the Chazal say that Al Shalei Borchu Abateinu. That the loss in the land is due to the fact that Borcha Avatero, that etc. The Borcha Avatero Tchila, that they learned Torah, but they did not make Bichas HaTorah first. Borcha Avatero. What is the principle of Borcha Avatero? That it has such tremendous significance. The principle in this is the Torah is Hashem's names. The whole Torah, this is a reference and a manifestation of Hashem. So this is Hashem's names. Because the whole Torah, this is something which is a representation of Hashem's presence. Therefore, and therefore it is necessary, as we said before, he should see the Baal HaShmuel, project the presence of the Baal HaShmuel, of the source of this Shmuel, the source of this statement, connect doi right in front of him. Which means, in order to learn Torah properly, you have to learn Torah as it comes from its very source, as it is contained in its source. As HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you should remember them, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the giver of the Torah. The principle that Torah is Shmois of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We know that Torah is chochmato of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what's missing? You say chochmato of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and now all of a sudden you say Shmois of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is precisely the difference that we said before of learning the chochma of the Rav, which is chochmato shel Rav, and then there is the very presence, pono shel Rav, the very presence of the Rav. The presence of the Rav you cannot learn, and this is not expressible and doesn't come forth. But it is the presence of the Rav that substantiates and gives real presence to the chochma. The chochma can be viewed, can be understood on various levels. It makes sense. Oh, it's something similar to what I learned before. I can make sense of it. I can elaborate on it. This is all chochma. And then there is what's called deeper and deeper and deeper. But there is a primary reality. Primary reality, this is the actual presence of the Rav. And this presence of the Rav, this is what that this is the Roya is Harav, the Neged Ein, this is Pnei Harav. To slightly elaborate on this, we spoke about it lately a lot, that the principle that Reitze B'chayev, a person Reitze Lichios. Reitze Lichios does not mean Reitze Lichios in order to participate in worldly affairs, to experience a little bit more of the world. Reitze Lichios is a neshama principle. And what is this Reitze Lichios? What is the essence of this Reitze Lichios? It is that via that this neshama is nafach to be is in Fichas Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Therefore, through this chayus, he is connected directly to the meifeach, to the reality of the godly reality itself. This is the essence of Reitze Lichios. I said essence, not necessarily that everybody is experiencing it, but that is really the essence of Reitze Lichios, the source of Reitze Lichios in the Neshama. because this chayes is coming directly from the chayim. So similarly, in this union, if you say that one is learning Torah, Torah is chochmato shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but that is not the essence that connects one to the Torah. It is not the chochmah, it is the fact that this is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And this is why it's called shmoisav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A name, on one hand, we say a name is a chitzonistic thing. A name is a chitzonistic thing in terms that it does not tell you what is the essence of the one who carries this name. But in fact, the name refers to the essence itself. This is why a name, when the Rebbe created the world, he gave everything a name. And Adam and Chava gave him a name. And a baby is born, the first thing we do is give it a name. Because this is mamshich, the essence. In terms of the Riyas Pnei Harav, seeing the Pnei of the Rav, the face and the form of the face. The face, this is by the human being, the face, this is where the entire human being is content. I've explained many times, this is why everything else is covered up. The only thing that we show is the face. Because the face, this is the essence. His intellect and beyond his intellect. It's all expressed in the form of his face. I pointed out an interesting phenomenon. The more you think about it, and the more mind-boggling it is, that if you have a damage, if you have a cut in your finger, and then it regrows, it's restored. The restoration is not merely that it covers up the wound, and there's no infection possible. The skin is restored to its original, very subtle form. The fingertips, the fingerprints, which are not tangible at all. What causes that restoration? This is because this is a representative of the essence of this person, the essence of this neshama.
So too by the face?
What?
How did we get the fingerprints? So
I'm illustrating that this is, and the face is the form of the face. This is representative of the essence of the person.
Shmur, so the shmur.
Shmur means what you heard from him.
What you hear.
What you hear from him.
So why seeing if it's hearing? And secondly...
No, wait a second. You're going away. You can only know what he says. That's shmur, so that's his Torah.
Yeah.
But you're getting it from him.
From him.
The important thing of it is that you're getting it from him. What you hear, what you understand, you then translate according to your own seichel. But that's not what you get.
Because he stands, he's like makif is like he stands behind it.
No, this is where it originates.
But you even less get him than you get his chochmah.
The chochmah they get, him you relate to.
Chochmah you get on your level, or as
whatever you understand. Him you don't get anything. You just you get his presence.
But you have the relation. You relate. You get his presence.
Yeah. In other words, the real power behind this chochmah is the fact that you got it from him.
You're saying you see the intelligence in someone close to the face?
I'm sorry, what?
You can see the intelligence in someone due to their face?
You can what?
See the intelligence.
Intelligence. What about intelligence?
You say you see the face, you see the intelligence, you see...
No, you see the face, you see the person. This is what shmoisav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shmoisav is a name. The name, you would say, the name is that which refers to, addresses the very essence. The reason there are names altogether is because there is an essence. Otherwise, it will be only adjectives.
Uh-huh. So here the name is like the face, let's say.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Wait a second, did I misread over here? I tell you, he's Shmo Esav, not Shmo Esav. Shmo Esav Shal HaKadosh Baruch. Yeah, I tell you, Shmo Esav. This is the Mebish's the Mebish's statements. But Tzorich li is roya bal hashmua k'negdoi. And it is necessary that the Baal HaShmua, the source of this Shmua, should be in front of you. That he should remember at the time when he learns Torah, he should remember HaKadosh Baruch Hu Noisen HaTorah, the giver of the Torah. In other words, this is what the principle of Baruch HaTorah to make Birchas HaTorah, to remember that the Torah that you learned comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu who gave the Torah. What's the difference? You're learning Torah, the chochma, but you have to have the source of that chochma. It's important to recognize the source of that Torah. Because thereby, then Shmo Oisov, what he hears, his understanding will be, will be focused correctly to the truth of the Torah. And therefore, and as a result of that, nimsha bechinas atzmus chochmato yisborich. So the aspect of atzmus chochmato, the very essence of the chochma, will also be brought down into his Torah that he learns, which is bechinas makor haTorah, which is the aspect of the source of Torah. The hainu haTorah k'mishehi b'shoshu u'mekoyim. Makor haTorah means the Torah as it is in its original state, in the Shosha, in the very source of the Torah. Bechinas asmus insoib, in the asmus insoib. Okay, now one is the Shosha u'mekoyim, as we said many times, and here he says bechinas asmus insoib. The Torah is not, and just like by a Rav, he said this is Shmua's Horab, Shmua. Why is the Rav, this Shmua is said by this Rav? Why? Because this is something representative of his essence. The similar thing is that we say the Torah, B'shosha, this is representative of Atzmus. As we say many times, the one place where this is manifest, the Torah gives directives of how to behave in the world. But this thing that Torah gives a directive on how to behave in the world is not by recognizing the world. It tells you under these circumstances, this is how you should behave. Because the other way around. The Torah represents, this is how I want the world to be. I created the world, and this is how I want the world to be. And the world has to conform to the Torah. The Torah is the way the Rebbe initially conceptualized the world. This would be, and why? Because this is a representative of his essence. Again, I want to give a very simple illustration of the concept, which is always important. We should be able to relate to what we're learning. We said many times that a home is a principle in the human being. The very presence of the human being is identified by the fact that he has a home. Now, once he has a home, then we said many times, this home gets furnished. The furnishings have to fit into the home. But the furnishings are not designed by the home. These furnishings is the additional insight that a person has internally what a home should be like. So the furnishings, yes, it is further elaborations of the home, but it's drawn from the essence of what a home means to the person. It is not something that is the result of the fact that he has a home, he has to furnish it. So this is, the principle is that elaborations are drawn from the source. This is what the Torah is Atzmus chochmato mokir HaTorah. HaTorah k'mishni b'shoshu mekor HaTorah, the way the Torah is present in its source, which is b'bchinas Atzmus Ein Sof, the essence of Ein Sof. Atzmus Ein Sof, okay, to point to the words. Atzmus Ein Sof clearly does not need the Torah to direct it. It is complete and perfect in its very essence. And this is where the Torah is drawn from. Then, as a result of this, the fact that he is relating to the Noisen HaTorah, this brings to him Toisves Oir, an increase of Oir, basic HaTorah. Again, I'll only elaborate on this for a moment. Toisves Oir, an increase of Oir, basic HaTorah in his engaging in Torah. Lahavin hadavar al buryoy b'yoyser, to understand this thing al buryoy, to its clarity, b'yoyser, to the extreme. This means Toisves Oyer basic HaTorah. Everything, especially in learning Nigla Torah, everything that you learn in the Torah is mislabish in levushim gashmi. Now we said shnayim oichazim betalis. Two are holding on to a talis, and one can see this entirely from a levush level. You cannot shortchange this one. You cannot shortchange this one. If you shortchange this one, he's going to scream. If you do the other one, he's going to scream. In other words, you're trying essentially to keep the peace between the two contestants. This is not what the Torah is. This is not what the Torah is about. And this is lacking oir. In other words, it's not referring to an essential truth. It's referring to a contestant, to a contest, to an argument. How do you adjudicate an argument? The truth is, as we explained the other day, the principle of ownership is not something that is created by me grabbing the tali, in a worldly arena. The principle of ownership is drawn from Hashem's giving the world to the people, giving the right to own. In other words, ownership is a real thing. It's attesting to the principle that this is the Mebash's world, and that they get everything from Hashem, and that it's still, the talis belongs to Hashem. It's Hashem's world, and He is giving it to them. That's what ownership is about. Not because I grabbed it first and you grabbed it to me, I'll fight you. This is not what the principle of ownership is. So therefore, this is about there is an oyed, there is a reality. Oyer means this is an oyer, a reflection of the real thing, of the essence. There's an essential truth to this ownership. And then there is oyer that illuminates a particular situation. Coming from where? Coming from the source of this oyer. This is what the whole thing is about. Like I mentioned, a very simple thing. If you learn more, especially in Ezekiel, the adjudication seems to be on the simplicity level to the extreme. What did he say? What did he say? This one said, the talent is completely mine. This one said, half is mine. So therefore, okay, so adjust the division according to their titles. In other words, I can explain, are you projecting exactly what happened over here? If they picked it up at the same time, then it's half and half. How can it be 3/4 and 1/4 from a functional and active perspective? From a bottom up perspective, you cannot. What then is the basis of this division? Their titles, their claims.
Where's the R in that?
They have the right to ownership. That's the oil. The whole thing is based on their claim. How do I own it? By claiming it.
Why is your claim trusted? Why is the words of your mouth reliable?
Because God gave you the right to own property.
So their verbal claim is different from when they pick it up and claim it?
You don't know where they pick him up, how they picked up.
You just said they pick it up half and half at the same time.
But how, if it's at the same time, how can you then divide it by 3/4 and 1/4?
Yeah, so here we're saying the verbal claim is different from them picking up.
We don't know what happened here.
Oh.
We only know what is presented to us. The right to the object right now is based on the current situation, not on historical factors. There is oyer. In other words, the world is owned by the neighbors, and ownership is derived from that. It is not something that's created by me grabbing the object. And therefore, our dispute is on that level, in the oil element. And therefore, we divide it according to the dispute, according to the claim. This one says half is mine, this one says the whole thing is mine. And therefore, they, as Rashi explains, they're only disputing one half, the other half has already been granted. And that half that they're disputing is divided half. How is this possible? I said it doesn't make sense on the worldly level. How can you really get a sense and really relate to this type of a adjudication type of seichel? Only if you recognize that there is an owner of the world. And this Torah comes from Atzmos. If it were isolated within a worldly context, there's no way that you can fit this in.
There's other laws that would deal with if the person's lying or not.
Sorry?
There's other laws that would deal with if the person's lying or not. If the claim.
There is one thing. In this particular law, there is a thing that they have to swear. The shvur is to forestall that he went and he grabbed a topaz from the Talisha Shalvei. This is not a proof of anything. The Gemara says that the shvur is with Takonas Chachom. It's not even mitzad Haldin. Takonas Chachom forestall the possibility that he will go and he will grab hold of the talis. You're holding the talis, I'm going to join you holding the talis. And then all of a sudden I have a time. So to forestall that possibility, you have a shvur. But it doesn't prove anything.
Was the point here that the sharing the resolution was based on the fact that there's an owner to the world and he designates?
And he bestows it to both of them.
And that's to say there's no real judicial system without that.
That's right.
One
The
owner
judicial
to-
system of the Torah is based on this principle. That's why it said, "Hamishpot le'elokim."
And I'm also saying you wouldn't come to this through Seichel Enushi, or only through Seichel Enushi that's rooted in that it's God's will.
Seichel Anushi would say, "I need proof as to what happened. You guys are fighting each other. Go and fight it out. What does it have to do with me? How am I going to know what the truth is from your kindness? Come to the Rav. I found it. What should I do?" The only thing the only way out of this is what's called make a pshara, a compromise. Come on, stop fighting each other. It's not so important. But that's not judgment. That's why it says Hamishmat Le'elokim.
Somebody should teach this principle to Netanyahu.
Okay, this is it for today. I'll talk about Netanyahu in a minute. This is it for today. We have to do that. Yeah.